So we've got the starting of a halving joint here, square piece of timber here, and we've got to mark out our shoulders. So our shoulders are always the thickness of our timber. So I'll quickly mark them out. Got my face side and my face edge mark on there. Come on, behave yourselves. So we start off by marking out the shoulders on the other piece of timber, somewhere in the middle. Alright, using my face edge and face side with the stock against the face side, face edge. I need to mark out the centre of this piece of timber because obviously I'm going to take out halfway for this one as well. So I shall do that first from the face side edge with the stock against the face side edge. Pin in the middle, push it in, turn it around 180, pin in the middle, and if both holes line up, so if you've only got one hole in the middle, then we know that we're in the right place. From the face side, face edge again, stock against the face side, pin in, push down, turn over, pin in, push down. So that's both pieces of timber now marked out to take the halving. And this one I prepared earlier for showing you how to do the dovetail. So it's a straightforward halving joint that I've cut. All that I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust it now so that I put a dovetail on the end of it. So what we do is we measure in from the side 8mm and put a little mark. 8mm from this side as well. Put a little mark. And at the top, to make it easy for you, we'll come in 2mm and 2mm on the other side. So I've got 4 marks, 8mm and 2mm, 8mm and 2mm. Join those lines up. So we've marked out our dovetail, right? So that's our dovetail there. I need to cut those lines, so I'm just going to square across the top line so that I can get a nice square cut. I'm only going to be cutting from this face, so I don't need to mark out the back. So I've got my dovetail marked out, and I've got my square lines across the top there marked out. Dovetail through there, square lines across the top. Don't be tempted to do a double dovetail, which a lot of people do. So square across the top, dovetail down there. In the vise, do your shoulders first, and what we want to do is we want that shoulder line to follow around dead square all the way around here, so that when it goes into the piece of timber, we don't have any joints. So what I do is I start the saw off flat on the outside, and very carefully start bringing it round, following my pencil line, just up to my shoulder line. The same for this side, flat on there, and slowly bring it round. Just up to my pencil marks here, right? So that shoulder line is followed all the way around. Then we've got to cut the actual dovetail itself. So on the waist side of the line again, following our pencil line, cut our dovetail, yeah? Now we always cut this part of the dovetail first, and then mark out this piece of timber with the dovetail that we've got. Then if we've made any mistakes on this, if we've missed our line by a little bit, we can still mark out this and it will still be nice and tight, yeah? The important thing is to make sure that those shoulders are square. Yeah? If those shoulders are square, when it goes into the hole, it's going to go in there nice and square and tight and snug. If it's wider at the bottom than it is at the top, then the top, we'll be marking out the bottom, then when we push it in all the way down, we'll have a massive gap at the top. So you've got to make sure that those shoulders there are nice and square. Don't have it the other way around, that way around. Face side, face edge, facing up. Face side, face edge, pointing up on this. Hold it into position so that your shoulder lines that you've marked out on the timber line up with your actual timber itself. The shoulder lines lining up with the timber. Yeah? Hold it on there. Mark out your dovetail. Just tidy those lines up because you might have a little bit of a wiggly line going on. And then square down your new lines that you've created because they're not going to be the same as the ones that you had. That now is your dovetail marked out to take the new dovetail that you've got to take, yeah? Alright. So see where the shoulder lines have come in a little bit on the other side as well. That's very important that instead of trying to split the line on the dovetail, so you're not trying to halve that line, you actually come inside that pencil line. So I'm going right alongside the line and leaving the whole pencil line in, and I'm not trying to split it. Alright? Just cut them out. Making sure that they're nice and square as well. And the same process for the cross halving that we did. A little bit at a time. Make sure you don't go all the way through the timber. So I've gone down to a line on that side. Turn it back round, down to my line on this side. Making sure that you don't go all the way through the chisel. Then get your joint, and I've just got a little snot just on this corner here, which just needs cleaning up, yeah? Just need to tidy that up. Like so. And yeah. Got a little bit of my shoulder which is holding up because my joint's so tight. It's just holding itself off a little bit. Remember, don't come all the way through when you're doing your shoulders. Come back in from the other side. Otherwise, you'll tear that front edge out. Tweak the other side as well.
We'll come back tomorrow.
No sarky comments, please. sarcastic applause. There's your dovetail, and obviously that's not going to pull out now, so we use that one for drawers and for certain types of buildings where we're doing oak buildings. If we've got a big joint on the corner of a building that we want to make sure it doesn't pull away, we can put a dovetail in the top corner there, and that'll stop the whole building from pulling itself apart. So you've got 2 plates with a dovetail on each end, saves you having to put steel rods and things in. All right. So start off exactly the same as a halving joint. From one piece of timber into the centre of the timber, cut your dovetail first, mark out your dovetail onto your second piece of timber, and then cut it. The big thing is make sure you stay inside your line. Don't split the pencil line when you're cutting your second housing. Cut inside your line. For some reason that always works. Thank you.